Okay, y'all, we got Coco in the house, so like always, welcome to the Mysteries of Sex with your girls, Love My Yacht, and oh my fucking goodness, I cursed in front of Coco. The one and only Coco the comedian.
I don't know why she act like I ain't never heard cussing before. I done cussed a few times in my life too.
She said a few times, only a few.
I think I've been cussing since I was in the 2nd and 3rd grade. I have, but it's okay.
It's okay. So, of course, Coco, this is an uncensored show.
That's the, oh shoot! That's one of the men here with the shirt on like a fishnet. It's a man, y'all gotta see him. Is he ever gonna come on camera?
Nah, he ain't gonna come on camera.
Oh, my goodness, listen. He got one of them shirts on, one of them Jamie Foxx shirts. It's like the Jamie Foxx with the little...
The nipple showing?
I don't know.
Yeah, the nipples are showing, Coco. I seen his nipples.
Oh!
I seen his nipples.
I don't look at it. I don't look at it. I've been wagging for a minute.
Yeah. Wait, dear, can you turn it a little bit close that way, like? Because I see people talking, people chiming in here, Coco. I can't see Coco's face. There you go. I want to see Coco's face.
Let's get it started. Let's get it started.
Yeah, we can turn this up. So, okay, Coco, I've been trying to get you for 4 years. So now I finally got Coco at the Mysteries of Sex.
Listen, the Mysteries of Sex. Baby, I demystified sex a long time ago. Listen here. I took the Mysteries of Sex away a long time ago. So, you know, life has it where it goes in a circle. So you know somebody, and I've been knowing this baby forever. So you know somebody, and then life goes in a circle, and then you separate, and then the universe brings you back together. So we were talking the other day on the phone, and it's some questions and some things that women don't know. Yes. Ladies, y'all need to know.
Yes.
Before you serve it up to anybody.
Yes.
Everybody needs to know what their food tastes like.
Yes.
What it look like, and all of that stuff. So you need to know about your body. So we need to demystify sex.
Yes. And we're gonna start, Coco, because you know you have brought a couple of things to my attention. A lot of people don't know who the fuck Coco really is. They just know you as a comedian. But they don't know that Coco is a motherfucking nurse.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you all the professions I've had. I've been a nurse, radio personality, stand-up comedian. I work in the recovery community. I work with women and men that are victims of sexual abuse and domestic violence, which is very important that we include the men because we think about women, but we don't think about men.
Yes.
We don't think about men in abusive relationships. We don't think about men in terms of abuse because, ladies, the first thing a lot of things do, and I think this is so mean and vindictive, when you get mad with a man, you call the police on him.
Yes.
Because you mad with him, so you're going to call the police on him. And then once you call the police on him, it's a situation. So now you using the police as a weapon. Ladies, you can't slap men in their face. And it works on both sides. And it's a lot of abuse that goes on. What we do, we keep it a secret. So we're going to talk about them secrets.
Yes.
I'm not ashamed to say I was the first time I was molested, I was 4 years old.
Yes.
4 years old. And I know people are like, oh my goodness, she telling it. You know why I'm telling it? Because the more you say it, you take the power away from it. And the power has been taken away for years.
Yes.
But we need to talk about it. We need to have real conversation. Ladies, you need to know who you bring in your house. Fellas, you need to know who you date. I know her body, listen, her body banging like some 16-inch speakers in the trunk. But you need to know who you're dealing with. You need to know who you sleeping with. You need to know who you sharing your seed with.
Yes.
And you jumping from pond to pond like you a frog. Come on, fellas. So I'm the person. I do motivational speaking. I'm that person. And most of the time, y'all know me as a comedian. That's just one facet of who I am. I'm here. I feel and I know that my purpose here, and I know God placed me here. I'm the people person.
Yeah.
I'm the person that can walk in a room full of dignitaries. I'm the person that can walk in a room full of anybody and be comfortable and make everybody feel okay. So we need to talk. We need to communicate.
Yes.
Ladies, y'all need to get that mirror. You go in the bathroom and look at yourself. Put that mirror right there and see what's going on.
She said, look at your yoni.
Look at it.
Love it.
Look, when it however it look like this. I was a dirt shot and seen them look like this.
they look sad.
Oh, they like a clown. You know, Universal Circus got that clown look right there. But it's yours, so own it.
Yes.
Y'all done cut all the hair off of it. Y'all know how bad that itch when it grow back? And why you with somebody that want it bald anyway? It ain't an egg. It's not an egg. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, so for my girls who be getting those Brazilian waxes, hey, I'm telling you too. This is so funny because some people, we had a conversation about that before, because some guys like bald, some people like the landing strip, some people like the hairy thing.
Well, I got an automatic mohawk because my thighs rub. So, fellas, listen. If you have half seen it, it's a mohawk. And it ain't like I had a shave in the mohawk. It's just because my thighs done rubbed the hair off the side.
But look, Coco, what most of them don't know is we go through this stage. When we a baby or a kid, we can't wait till we go through our vagina growing hair. We can't wait till we get here. And then when we get to here, we start cutting it off. And then a lot of people don't know that when we get to a certain age, it starts falling off anyway, right?
How about it's gray?
And you ain't cutting gray, it just starts falling off. So, but guess what? Because I was worried about that. So I'm like, okay, I want to be married before my yanni turn gray. But then I was told that it don't matter what color it is as long as it's good and clean.
Listen, as long as it's clean, as long as you washing it.
Yes.
And it's the way to wash it.
Yes.
It's gonna get gray. First time I found the gray hair, I was traumatized. Because I looks at it. So I'm looking, I thought maybe some tissue had got kind of twinkled up in there a little bit. So I pulled it back. I pulled it again and pulled it back. I said, wait a minute, hold on. And I pulled, and it was gray hair. I said, well, Lord, welcome to adulthood.
And then, Coco, that's what's funny.
What?
Do you know that every string in our body has muscles?
Yeah, that would do.
So you say pull back. It's really something because our hair on our vagina is for a protector. It's for a protector to protect it from everything else.
Okay, so she opened the door walking in.
Okay.
So ladies, listen to me. When it comes to STI, sexually transmitted infections,
Yes.
you increase the risk of transmission even if he's wearing a condom, when you done just shaved and he done just shaved, because that area is very vascular and has a lot of blood vessels.
Yes.
So if he did skint, he looked like a bald chicken, you look like a bald chicken, and y'all having an intimate exchange, your pores are open, and 9 times out of 10 they inflame, and there may be a little blood in it or whatever. So with that exchange and that friction or whatever, you can still, it's minimal, but it's still a possibility of contracting an STI. And plus, why he want you bald anyway? And why he shaving his off? I'm just curious.
So do you think that's a possibility?
I'm trying to be so good right now. I'm trying to be so good.
And look, guys, look, everybody is their own unique person. Everybody yanni and everybody legal is their own unique kind. So to each his own, maybe you like that, maybe you don't. But at the same time, we have to teach you guys the fundamentals of what's going on. So when it comes to, that's Dr. Sabrina, go get the door for Dr. Sabrina.
Listen, y'all, let me tell you what's going on.
So what happens is when people like one thing versus another thing, it's a part of life. Come on, I have to tell people, I feel so good being free. You know what I mean when I say free now? I ain't saying free not to wear panties, free not to wear bras, but I like that shit too.
Right.
And I'm free that I can explore my sexuality without having to feel like somebody's gonna judge me without saying, hey, can I try this or just be in my, I be mind fucking myself.
Yes.
You know, I mind fucking myself because I can't take it. There goes my baby, I can't take it telling him what I want. Everybody, you know my girl, that's Sabrina, oh my God, So that's Sabrina, we talking about. Coco don't like hairy vaginas. Me, bald head vaginas and bald head penis.
Me either.
Oh shit! Come on,
Because I'm a grown ass woman.
So
Baldness says baby. My baby is bald. When I was changing my baby, he was bald. Okay. He's a grown man. I don't even know what he got now. Okay. And you know when a man present himself to you, you be like,
I'm like, really? You really did that?
Why?
But wait, now I gotta say, I ain't trying to get nobody no oral sex with a lot of pubic hair. I'm like, pubic hair all in the way. What is a nappy pubic hair?
Okay, well, first of
Put some
all,
hair on it.
if I'm performing oral sex, I'm not doing it on the pubic hair, I'm doing it on the phallic member.
That would be kind of like going over there.
The phallic member.
No, Sabrina, sometimes you know that hair kind of goes a little bit, and if you're trying to go deep throated, you can probably come in contact with
It
something.
be like little, it be like,
The hair going up there a little
it be
bit.
like old school reefer seeds. When they had reefer with seeds in it. When they had the Reggies with the
That was
seeds in it.
real reefer.
Yeah, that was real reefer. Y'all remember when mom used to slide under the edge of the couch? Y'all remember?
Oh my goodness, so they don't have a real reason no more.
No, this is manufactured.
This is genetic. Didn't you see how I'm making that? They gotta smoke 12 blunts a day. We gonna get to that.
Well, wait, I gotta say something about this. Shout out to them California people, because I don't know what the hell they smoke. I do interviews with them them California people, them Snoop Dogg pound people. I went over to them an interview. By the time I got the train, I couldn't even keep my eyes open. And I don't smoke. So they smoke something different in California.
No, they smoke something different, period. And
So
they
look.
legalize it.
Yes, to be legal in the grocery store.
They got the sativa and the indica.
Oh, they got the Reggies.
The Reggies is old school. That's back in the day when I was jump open and buying my shoes when they had when they connected to
Who
me.
was wearing jellies?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, the jelly. Oh,
But they got one that bring you up and one bring you down.
Mm-hmm.
And then it make you emotional. And then the names, they got one called Crack, they got one called Superman,
Wait, they have one called Crack?
Piss. They have a marijuana called Crack.
They have one called cat piss?
Cat Piss,
I don't.
Gorilla Snot.
That's hair. That's the stuff I got in my hair right now. That's a little.
Yeah, see, I don't, listen, thank God. I've been delivered from all of that there, because the names, and even
That is
that
weird.
stuff, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I mean the name will scare you itself.
And then they put it in cookies. Why you disrespect the cookie and put,
No, they're so bad
they have
now.
Kool-Aid, yes,
They
they have a
the
drink.
the gummy bears
Yes,
that
yes.
are infused. And
Yes.
now they have a scary movie where the gummy bear is scary. I need the gummy bear to still be happy. I don't need the
Listen.
gummy bear
Yes,
to
and
scary.
it-
And they have mean teeth. They're biting people and eating people. I need my gummy bear to still be a happy gummy
I do.
Yeah.
I still want to eat them late at night, and they be kind of soft, because I done rolled over on them in the bed, and they got, they give me this up in the bag. and
But I
they
gotta say too, guys, I don't smoke, I don't drink, never have, never will. But I do know a lot of people who eat these edibles and who make these edibles, and it serves a good purpose for people who like myself. I have fibromyalgia.
Okay.
So for me, my doctor gave me a prescription. He gave me the card. I just don't go for it because I gotta have my CPL too. You know, I rather hold my pistol than
Well,
marijuana.
here's the thing. So you have to
They have the form.
separate the two. If you carry them both, you have to make sure they're separate. And then you also have to make sure that, see, people always say, well, I got my card, or whatever. Even with your card, so let's say I take pain medication and your doctor gave you a prescription for edibles. I can't take my pain medication and get out here on the street and get to driving.
Right.
Because I'm operating a vehicle while under the influence.
Yes.
You can't eat a pinch of your brownie and get out here and driving, because you operating a vehicle while under
Under
the influence.
yes.
So it's the same thing. The police pull us over, you gonna be like this, I'm gonna be like this, we both going to jail.
Yeah.
So you have to wait till you're at home or whatever.
And
you
don't
have
get
to keep
mad.
separate.
And don't get mad because people are saying you shouldn't drive under the influence.
Yeah, so you put everybody's life in danger.
You put
Not only
your
yours.
life and someone else's
Yes.
life in danger.
Yes.
So if you are impaired,
Yeah.
then you're
Yes.
thinking, I don't
Yes.
care if you're taking a pharmaceutical drug that someone has manufactured, or you're taking something that is grown,
Yes.
it's still affecting your ability to.
One more time for the choir. One more time for the back members of the choir.
If you're driving under the influence, just don't do it. And don't get mad because somebody telling you not to do it. Be responsible. My thing is, if you're grown,
Yes.
You're supposed to be responsible. Grown behavior is responsible behavior. It's not just doing whatever you want to do because you think you can do it. That ain't what being grown is. Grown is taking care of your business.
Yes.
Okay.
And being responsible.
I like that.
And not doing things that's going to endanger me or someone else. And that is in every area of my life, whether it's financial, spiritual, mental, emotional, and sexual. Please, please, ladies, I'm just going to say to the ladies, I'm going to say this to the ladies.
Talk to the ladies.
Really? You will let someone who you know got somebody else
Say it.
raw dog you.
Say it.
Side chick alert.
Say it.
You gotta be a side chick. I ain't even gonna give you a label.
You never got a label.
No, I'm not gonna give you a label because you know
out the window.
I could be the main chick, but I still know he's stepping.
Yeah.
So then I let him come bare. I'm stupid.
Yeah.
Well, I got one too. I hear so many women say, I'm not gonna go and buy condoms. He's supposed to do that. Ladies,
Oh, no.
let's listen.
Yes.
You go get the texture, the sensation, the thinness, the thickness, or whatever that you want. Get the flavor that you want, because if he hooking you, and you hooking him up orally, they got flavors.
Yes.
They got dental dams for oral.
Could you say
They
that
come get
again?
some classes.
They can come get some classes. And let me tell you about the dental dam. It's a piece of plastic, but it's a dental dam. And if you don't have a dental dam, you could use a wax cellophane
Yes.
plastic.
Yes.
But you can't use the microwavable kind because it's porous and the germs and the bacteria can get through it. I know there's too much information.
Too much.
But
That's
you
good
need to know
information.
this.
You need to know.
You need to protect your body. And this whole thing about only name you know is his street name,
Oh yeah.
Quarterman, Bookerman,
Yes.
7 Mile Dog, and Rolo. You don't know his real name?
Oh my goodness, Coco, I gotta tell you about this story. I have a baby daddy. I'm not gonna say the name. Y'all know I gotta take kids. So I got a baby daddy who I had his child. I'm not gonna say what number because then you know they're gonna know.
Okay.
But I got a baby daddy, and he had a child. This person had a child after I had a child. So this person tried to make sure she named her child a junior. For my child would be that. How about it wasn't even his real name? So she got a child walking around here saying he's junior, but that's not even their name. So definitely, if you can't find out his name, you shouldn't be sleeping with him. Look inside the glove box. Look at his driver's
They got him in the glove box. They got him in the glove
They
box.
got the glove box.
Listen, they don't put nothing in the glove box. Man, if you open the glove box, it'll be marbles fall out. So you put it in the glove box. Right. I'm like, oh man, you caught me.
It goes back to the whole thing about being grown and responsible. I'm not going to be with someone that I got to chase you for who you are.
Yes.
And I'm not going to lie about who I am. Because people tell me all the time that, well, Sabrina, you shouldn't tell them what you do. Well, I do what I do.
Remember you said about me, and I said, you used to tell me, tell people what you do.
You tell
Tell me what you do. Yes,
Because
yes.
honesty is honesty. You can't say you want an honest person if you're not being an honest
Yes.
person. You can't draw to you what ain't in you.
Yeah.
See, and
Yeah.
this the
You
part
can't
kill me.
draw to you what ain't in you.
And this the part get me. You want me to? I'm gonna tell you the truth. I hope you've been telling me the truth all this time. All this time. You gonna make a statement? I'm gonna tell you the truth. So you been,
Oh my God.
you been lying to me up until now. Stop it.
Let me tell you, that has happened over and over and over again.
I'm gonna tell you, and
They will meet
truth.
you, they will take you out. First, they gonna take you out first because it speaks for coffee.
That's an interview. If we drinking coffee, that's interview.
That's an interview time. So we at the interview. So after the interview now, we don't move to the date. So we done went out a couple of times. Then you go, let me tell you something, baby girl. Oh, I got a situation.
Why you got the rock though? Why you do the rock like that? Why you do the rock though? Why you do the rock? Why you do the rock? Why you do the rock?
Baby girl, you're a good girl. You're a good girl. I like you.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you something.
But I gotta tell you something.
Yeah, you like, oh shit, there it goes.
I got a situation.
Yeah, a situation. They call it situationships. That's what they call
Yes,
it.
situationships.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Yes, that's what that is.
Situationships.
Okay, so guys, we talk about the marijuana too. So we talk about the you know, the not being responsible with marijuana. But what about the people? Because the millennials, I gotta give it to y'all. Y'all my sisters. We about the same age bracket. But these millennials be turning up. And one thing that I found out that I haven't done that I've been curious about, they have high sex. then they say when they have sex, when they high off the marijuana or off whatever kind of things they do or they drink, they say it takes them to another level of their sexuality.
Well, okay, so first of all, a lot of people don't know what good sex is.
So what is good sex?
For me,
You teach yourself for her.
for me,
That's the first thing.
I have to be in sync and in tune with you. Well, I've been on the wagon for some years now. I've been on the wagon.
Wait, what's the wagon?
I ain't having sex.
Okay.
Made a personal choice, made a spiritual choice that next person get these groceries. He didn't put a ring on it. I've done a lot in my life, and I've
Okay.
dated, and I've sexed and all of that. My tire's still good. I ain't got a whole lot of city miles on my car. Car still roll good, still get on the highway. You know, I don't need no wheel alignment and nothing like that. But if I did, so be it. But a lot of women and men are not in tune to themselves. So a lot of them doing what they hear in the rap song. Like I remember they had the song called Truffle Butter. Well, truffle butter is when a man goes from a woman's vagina to her butt, and it's the creamy.
Cross-contamination.
Yeah, ain't it cross-contamination?
Cross-contamination,
Ain't that cross? But that's they called that truffle butter. That was out about 2 years ago.
Oh my goodness.
So now the anal thing is the thing, and here's the thing, ladies. I want y'all to listen to me. Look at me. If you date a man and he want a whole bunch of objects in his backside, have a conversation with him. Because they be wanting fingers and marbles and all kind of stuff. They want you to take a silk scarf that you wear around your head and tie knots in it and put it in there, pull it out. It's like bedrock balls. They want you to pull them out one at a time because it prolongs the ejaculation. Look here, dude, dig this here. Let me tell you something. If you ain't bleeding and it been shot or something in it, I ain't put nothing in there. Don't ask me. And I want to know the first person that did it and get her on the phone so I can cuss her out. Because I'm not going to do that.
Look, y'all, I gotta be ready. You better cuss me out because I like some ass. I'm sorry. That's all I'm saying. Your girl like to get it in. I ain't gonna never be fake. Now these is my idols right here. But Coco, I like to get it in.
But the men that want something in there.
I like to put something in there. I like to have fun. I like to have a free sexuality. This is what I like. My teeth is different.
So the first time you did that with a man, how did he ask you to do it? Or did you ask him? How do we get to the street?
How did it happen?
Yeah.
Well, Coco, I'm a dominatrix.
Okay.
So with that, I deal with fetishes and kink every day.
I
right?
got you. I got
so
you.
since I deal with that, people hire me for different services.
All right.
I'm not a prostitute. I have a PhD. However, I do believe
Wait, hold on. Did you see that? She let y'all know. Listen, don't ever get it twisted.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is everybody has their own things that they like, Coco.
Absolutely.
And that's a part of sexual freedom. Now, for me, in my house, I don't want no big wall balls up my ass. Right? But I have no problem with sticking some big wall balls up somebody else.
But see, why is that? Why is that? You don't want it done to you, but you'll do it to somebody else.
Because I'm a domination. I like to dominate. I like to see expression.
Okay.
And then I never do anything that's not consensual. It has to be consensual.
Yes.
It has to be pleasure.
And you have to have a safe word.
Oh, yes. Yes. Green, yellow, red. Let's be real close and I give you some special ones. But it's like...
Where my tambourine? I need my tambourine.
Yeah, and I believe that I don't judge anyone. I feel like as long as you're living your life in a decent, consensual lifestyle and you're not trying to infringe your beliefs on nobody else, I feel like that's what you do. Now, if it was something that if I was into it, my lover was into it, and I was like, man, nah, fuck you, I'm gonna do this, then I think that's all the way wrong.
Yeah, you
Now, in your case,
you cannot force what you want or
On somebody
believe
else.
on somebody else. Absolutely, absolutely.
But this is the thing when we start talking about men enjoying anything anal. And a lot of people think that if they do, that means that they have had some man before they desire a man, and that is not true.
It's not.
It is not the act that makes you gay. It's who you do the act with.
exactly.
And so there are people who are heterosexual that have various things that they like in their
Exactly.
sexual,
Absolutely, absolutely.
their sexual catalog, as I
Yes,
say.
yes,
Sexual
yes,
catalog. I like
yes.
that. Sexual
We're
catalog.
gonna have to use that sexual catalog. We're going to put one right here on the table.
Sexual catalog. I'm going to add to that catalog.
We're going to put something right here. We're going to put the catalog right here on the table.
So I mean, and like with us, like when I was younger, you know, you gotta think it's like really changing. When I was younger, to do oral sex, I was like, ugh, no, that's not gonna happen. Ain't nowhere in the world, you know. And I used to look really down on it. And then the older I got, I'm like, shit, that feel good. That's what they turned on the purpose.
So let me ask you this question: when you found out that it was a good feeling in it, were you is it at the same time that you became comfortable with your body? Because a lot of women, and they do the pictures and they do all of that stuff, but they're still not comfortable. And when I say comfortable with your body, I mean comfortable in terms of where you could come out the shower and just stand there and look at yourself and just look at your stretch marks and be like, you know what? Okay, that do look like Twizzlers, but that's okay though. My thighs do look like Chinese checkers. And so that's a whole nother element, because for someone that has been raped or molested, it is a level of violation that occurs. And people say, when people start identifying with the Me Too movement, people say, well, why are they just saying something now? Because when something traumatic happens in your life, you put it in a place, you store it in a place, and Dr. Sabrina and Love, Maya, you all can speak to this. You put it in a place and you recall it only when something else traumatic triggers it. So it's PTSD.
Yes.
Post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yes.
But along with being molested, you are now introduced to a new sensation that 4, 5, 6, 10, 11, 12, your body shouldn't be introduced to.
Yes.
So it's almost like somebody took something from you and they introduced something to your body, and when that person would come around, it was something about you that wanted to be in their presence, but you wanted to run away from them at the same time. So when the Me Too movement happened, I was so happy that people were finally speaking up and saying, it was like, well, 25 years. I don't care.
It could be 50 years.
It could be 50 years. We talking about old boy right now. Y'all know who we talking about, Kavanaugh, in his situation.
Well, I got a on my way here, a text from Fox 2. Because someone in some movement posted some memes about the girl who said that he violated her.
Molested.
And so one of the memes had...
Why do we have a hard time saying that though?
What?
Rape, molest, and all that. We don't, but it's like we think about it and it clicks back something in our head.
Well, I think there's a couple of things at foot here. First, we have a society that automatically blames the victim.
Oh, of course.
We re-victimize the victim. That's what we do. So
several times.
I don't care when a person tells. Soon as they tell, several things are going to happen.
Absolutely.
So if I get raped, violently raped, the first thing I have to go do is to go to the doctor for them to give me a rape kit. If they perform a rape kit on me and my hoo-ha is all upset and
Rape all over again.
that's rape all over again. So now I got to be re-victimized for the sake of the kid and for
every person that comes in, for the social worker that comes in and talk to you, for the nurse that comes in and talk to you,
And not to mention your family.
the police that come in and talk to you, your family that comes in and talk
And the
to
ones
you,
who don't believe you.
and the ones that don't believe you. And then, and I'm gonna say this, listen, and I don't care who get mad, the caregivers, you can get mad or whatever. Some of you all don't have bedside manner when you're dealing with somebody that has been sexually victimized.
Yes.
You crass, you cold, you inconsiderate, or whatever, and you walk in with this funky ass attitude, and you talk to people real bad and real nasty, like, okay, or whatever. Maybe you haven't had that experience, but it's not a good experience. That victim don't want to be laying there. So you need to work on your bedside manner, and I'm going to digress on that.
And it's worse for men.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. 'Cause that's what I'm saying. They really
It's
saying
worse
yes.
for men. I
Yes.
saw a documentary about this group of homosexual men, and one of them had been raped, had the rape kit done, was waiting to hear back from the police on the case. The police talked to him so
Oh my goodness.
like
Yes.
good that happened to you. And that's the way it feels. And so that's how I feel when I look at this woman who's come forth at this point, that they like, oh, well, why you wait 35 years? And if you waited 35 years, it was you, like she really sat up and said, I'm just going to wait till he comes back in the cut till he comes up for an opportunity.
Yeah.
I ain't kept up with y'all. Tell you.
But you know what, Dr. Sabrina Coco, I'm coming December the 7th, y'all. I told y'all September. But December the 7th, December the 8th, actually. December the 7th, I'm having a party. But December the 8th, I'm coming out with my book. So, on December the 8th, that's when everybody will know that I was molested.
Okay.
You know, so, look how many years it took me. It took me down there 40 years.
How old are you currently?
I ain't told nobody. I ain't told my birthday. I ain't told nobody my age. So, but it took me over 30 years to tell. Over 30 years.
When I came out with my story, the first time I told it was on Let It Rip. That's the first time I ever told it.
But remember, you told me to tell my story.
Of course I did.
You coached me because, I mean, look how it took me forever to write the book, but you the one who pushed me and said, tell your story, tell your story. Because if I wouldn't have, I would have still been having that same part. Remember you said you look at yourself and love yourself. You know, I would still, and I'm still dealing with it right now today. It's like, I love myself, I feel on my body, and I'm like, I love this. But at the same time, I can turn on Instagram, and I'll be seeing all these damn girls with big ass booties and shit like that. And I'll be like, my ass ain't big enough. Should I get some shots and shit?
Yeah.
And then I have to come back to my own self and say, I'm beautiful the way I am.
You have, and you know what? We have to own what we see.
Yes.
And those women, and I look at Kay Michelle's situation with all the surgeries that she's going through now to have a lot of those procedures reversed and whatever. And they had a show that was recently on that you could go on YouTube, and the women had large ulcers and their organs, their liver shut down, their kidneys started to shut down, they couldn't eat, they went through so much. And men don't do that.
Yeah.
If a man, you're in the bed with a man and he come up short, guess what? He just came up short.
Wait, some men nowadays it's so crazy because some men get muscle implants, they get dick implants, they do that shit now.
Yeah,
They doing it.
Not at the rate that we're doing it.
No,
Oh, no,
I never in life seen women, everywhere I look, a woman got a big ass booty. I never in life seen that. Even all nationalities got big ass booties now.
Yeah, the legs don't match, so it's like, it look like, for real, it look like a bar of soap with 2 black and miles sticking in it, like this. And you be like, wait a minute, that don't match.
But who they doing it for though? Talk about they doing it for the men or themselves?
They doing it, most women do a lot of stuff, sadly enough, because they want both. They want other women to envy them, and they want to get the attention of a man. And I've had men say the most attractive thing about a woman is confidence. Yeah, I hear you say that, but then yet and still, you will turn around and ask me, hey, you still going to the gym working out, ain't you? But I thought you was attracted to confidence. You need to make a commitment about what you're attracted to. And when you come up short, I mean, they could cut the little snip and make the skin, cut the little skin that's attached to the wop, but it really ain't gonna make, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then y'all to cut the grass. I don't care how much grass you cut, how low you cut it ain't gonna make your tree no bigger. But it's like, really? You like, what am I really dealing with? So it's a strange place that we're in when it comes to what is intimacy, what is passion, what is what stimulates you, what do we know about our body. Women need to look at their bodies. Women need to know what's going on with their bodies. Women, you need to examine yourself. You need to get a pap smear. You need to find out what the real deal is with your body. You really, and I beseech you, and I say this from a place of get to know your own body before you try to serve it up to somebody else.
Yeah.
Listen, learn how to wash your body.
Yeah.
Listen to me, look at my face. Over the last month, since we've had, the last 2-3 months since we had, you see this look on my face? Since we've had this oppressive heat, I done smelled more musty ass women than I done smelled it in years. And I'm talking about it's the emulsified funk, like it smelled like onions and lemon and all of that, and you flailing your arms. Listen, and I understand everybody perspire, but that smell shouldn't be coming out of your body. If you gotta put some, ladies, you gotta put some water in your body and your body in some water.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. All that old douching, you doing that douching, you put all that vinegar and stuff in it. Listen, I'm finna just real quick. So we drink the alkaline water. So your vagina is supposed to be at a pH of 7. When it's 7, it's cool. It ain't giving you no problems. It's good. When you drink a whole bunch of alkaline water, you drop the pH level. You make it very basic. That's the bad word. So you drop the pH level, and it changes the alkaline level. Then you drinking that red vinegar. Then it's making it acidic. So your yaya is doing like this. So what you get, you're supposed to have healthy bacteria in your vagina, but you didn't change the whole flora. That's the consistency of the vagina. You didn't switch it up. So now it's itching. You at church at choir rehearsal, and you doing like this. Because you trying to scratch it and you don't want nobody to see you. You hunching like this. You trying to scratch and it ain't working.
Yeah.
You're doing too much. Put your body in some water and some baking soda. Soak a little bit. You ain't supposed to put no whole, that sponge or soap. You ain't supposed to have to put all that in you to clean yourself. Listen, all them powders and creams and douches and salves and sprays, it ain't your hair. You putting more stuff down there than you putting up here. Drink you some water. Tequila is not water.
Let me talk about that.
Soda is not water.
Pepsi ain't water.
That ain't
And I hear
water.
women that say, I can't.
Oh,
I
baby.
can't drink water. It's
That's scary.
nasty.
Yeah, that's
You
scary.
didn't fuck, listen.
Yeah, that's scary.
I was at the club, a woman came out the bathroom stall, and I walked in, I had to turn around, and another lady walked in. This was my disclaimer. I said, baby, that ain't me. I said, it was a woman that just walked out of here and left that in there. I was literally holding the bathroom door, swinging it like this. She was butter sharp too, baby. She had about 5,000. Between her watch, her purse, and all of that was her accessories was about $5,000. But she needed to invest that in her box. Cause her box was
Right.
big.
But you gotta let people know too, Coco. Cause I got a lot of clients who come to me. Dr. Sabrina, definitely gotta tell our sisters. I gotta use this term. All pussy don't smell the same. Okay?
No,
What you eat comes out of your pores. My vagina don't smell like Coco vagina.
No.
Dr. Sabrina vagina don't smell like Lil Maya vagina. And it's not supposed to because we have our own unique body. Dr. Sabrina, Coco, that's what I've been doing. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with me for the last 5 months. I smell my vagina and I like the way it smells. I'm going to use bathroom and I'm like, damn, that's a different smell. My vagina changes then.
But as we age, our body changes,
Your body
smells,
is gonna
your
change.
skin
Yes.
texture changes,
Yes.
but it's not offensive.
It's not offensive.
Right.
So it's your body changes along like
Yes.
because the kids
Yes.
but you
Yes.
have to be in tune to know the scent of your body.
Yes.
See, this is the other thing, is that you have so many women that
that look
jacked up by the church.
Yes. Oh, say it now. Say it.
The church has told you that no, you should not become familiar with yourself. Because if you do that, you're going to burn in hell.
Yes.
But no, you need to know your body.
Completely. Inside, out.
Yes.
You're supposed to know your body. My man should not know my body better than I know my body. I should be able to instruct him
Yes.
on this chocolate.
We're not having a conversation.
We don't talk.
We don't talk.
We don't talk. Communication. Oh, this is the other thing. Is that we jump. There's 12 stages to intimacy. 12 steps to intimacy.
Tell us the 12
I ain't
steps.
giving you all 12.
Give us 3 of them.
There's somebody right now sitting there like, oh, please.
They put it right down. They put it right down.
Right now. But it's 12 stages to intimacy. We go from stage 1 to stage 11.
Yeah, like this.
In an afternoon.
And then wonder why he had
And then
that
wonder why you don't know his whole name. He don't know if you like Coke or Pepsi.
Yes.
He don't. You don't. We're supposed to. The first stage of when you first get attracted to somebody is the eye contact. It's like I see you. I see you too.
But see, you know what? Men always act like they don't notice that. So, but it's different. See, a man could walk by and we'll do this. It's 4-5 seconds. And we'll look back at our girls, and our girls give us a look like, I saw him too.
I saw him too.
Me got the, oh Lord, oh look at him, whoa! I'm like, no.
You just messed everything up.
You messed everything up. And when you first meet somebody, you connect by just the eye contact.
Yes.
From the eye contact, then you move to the conversation.
Yes.
So I might
Communication.
I just might come over to you and say, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, hi, my name is Sabrina. And yours?
Yeah.
Just the conversation. Then you might
What about when they get goofy though, Sabrina? You know my name Jerome.
no. You gotta have a little suave
Yeah.
for me.
A little swag.
Because I came from Clinton Sanders and he was the coolest man on the planet.
Okay,
So I'm used to cool.
Jerome for the
I
came.
can't do I can't do goofy. But then remember back in the day when they used to have Happy Days.
Yes.
Remember they would go to the movies with the girl?
Yes.
And they would be sitting there when they get a little nervous and then they go,
It was fake out.
Yeah.
So now it becomes the connection physically, but not, I'm slobbing you down. It's just, I'm just gonna
Gently.
put my arm around you.
I'm gonna introduce myself to your space.
I'm just gonna come a little closer. I'm not offending your boundaries.
Yes.
People will offend your boundaries and think there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
You better.
I mean, they just don't think nothing's wrong with it. So these are steps that we take
Yes.
as we're going to the stages of intimacy. We don't get to the point that we actually touching private body parts till like stage 11.
Sure.
Well,
Nowadays, some days these people try to go from, like you said, one.
Yeah, they go from one to.
11.
I had a guy. This is a true story. I tell this story all the time because I travel a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I met a guy online, and he worked for Chrysler. And so I have friends that work for Chrysler, so I made the call, make sure he was who he said he was, whoop, whoop, whoop.
Had them all on the computer.
Had it all lined up. Great conversations. Oh my God, we were having great conversations. I was in Baltimore on business. He was here. So the day I came home from Baltimore, he was leaving town for business.
Okay.
So we hadn't met in person yet. So we decided we would meet out by the airport because it was a time between when he had to leave and I was getting in.
And it's safe.
Perfect.
And it was safe.
Yeah.
It was safe. Just gonna go someplace public, have a cup of coffee, do an interview, have a juice, something like that. So then I hear my spiritual mother in my head all the time. Because one of the things that she says to me is that, Sabrina, you're controlling. She said, you always gotta dictate the place, where you go, what time you go. I said, so I'm trying to get that under control. Because if you got a real man, he need to do some leading. So he says, well, where you want to meet?
Well, look, Coco guilty.
He said, well, where you want to meet? And I started to say where I wanted to meet. Then I said, no, I'll follow your lead.
Yes.
That was the beginning of the end. Oh my God. Because when I said that, he says, oh, well, my favorite thing is a blowjob. How we go? Well, I ain't never laid eyes on you in person till you want me to do you. So I said, let's take all of that and sit that over there because that's not going to happen. But I got a question for you.
I'm looking for that.
I want to know, are there women who will meet you and do you and not get paid for it? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, what are you talking about?
The marijuana.
You are. They ain't even give you that. I can't even get it out. They ain't even give it up that. I said,
I ain't give up that. They didn't mean I ain't give up that.
so I told him, I says, well, let me share something with you. If I use your logic and I meet you today and I do you today, then 2 weeks from now I decide I don't like him, so then I go to the next guy and I do him the first day. But then a month later, I figure out I don't like him. Then I go to the next guy, and I do him.
You've done a lot of doing.
You've done a lot of doing.
And then 6 months later, I decided I don't like him. I says, that, my friend, is whole behavior. I'm really a guy, more than that, I'm not. So he told me that I was approved. Well, thank you very much. Please, you put that on my t-shirt.
He said approved?
Yes, he said I was
approved.
approved. I'm uptight and I'm approved.
I'll be that.
Yeah.
I'll be that. Who had the rap song? I'll be that. I'll be that.
I was just, and it's amazing to me between the men who come at me just strictly on a sexual tip off the rip, like you meet me and your first thing is what you're going to do to me.
Absolutely.
I don't want to know what you are going to do to me. The second piece is that now they're sending pictures of their phallic member.
Without you asked her.
I know. I've seen several in my lifetime. I don't know, sir.
Without you asking.
know you.
Please, y'all turn the room so I can double dutch and jump in. Please, again. Come on. not having sex, abstinence, celibacy, it introduces you to a whole different element of men, because when you tell them that and you have the conversation, they be like, well, they be looking like, you okay? Either way, either way, there are enough treatments for whatever the case may be, I'm okay. But I'm okay because I choose not to. I choose to keep my goods to myself. Okay? So I can see the little hamster on the treadmill in their mind like, I'm gonna get her. I'm gonna get her. Yeah, she said, let me figure out the ways. I'm gonna get her fat butt out them drawers. I'm gonna get out them bloomers. So, baby, they start figuring out the ways, and they start figuring out what they gonna say. Don't you know I done heard it all?
Oh.
Don't you know I done heard it? I've heard it all. I've seen the money.
Yes.
Not impressed by the money. I've been offered cars, very, very nice cars, very large sums of money. I've dated a couple professional athletes in a couple professions or whatever. So the whole conversation is they don't care. They want what they want when they want what they want. So they don't care what you say, and then they say, well, I don't think you like all the other women. Yes, you do. You do, because if I do this, how you gonna think of me tomorrow? Oh, we gonna be cool tomorrow. I just recently asked a guy the other night, I said, what if I told you that, I'm practicing celibacy or whatever, till I gotta respect you and I can wait. But his look was, he was sitting there looking like,
Well, I know what category I'm gonna put her in.
like, he was looking at me like, oh.
I'm gonna put her in a different category.
Then he said, then it was, I waited this long. I said, but listen, what if we never get to that point?
Yes.
Are you dating me, or are you attempting to date me just to get to the sex?
Yes.
Or are you dating me because you're attracted to me and you want to make me your wife?
That challenge is that challenge.
Yeah,
right
yeah.
there.
Why are you dating me? Because I know if you're just trying to date me and knock me off.
Yeah.
And see, then you're gonna try to. It's two kinds of women. It's a repressed hoe and it's a reformed hoe.
Repressed or
Reformed, you've been delivered from your hoish ways. I'm just saying. Repressed is you it's all about go in. And somebody can do one thing and it will just explode. It's like a water balloon. You fill up a water balloon, throw it around, just bust wide open. So I'm good. So if I think that you're dating me because you trying to scratch that surface and get me to do something with you, you are so wasting your time, because I like to watch A&E Live PD on Friday and Saturday night. Eat me a couple chicken wings. My ritual don't change. If you want to date me, that's fine. We can date. You ain't gonna know where I live for a long time. We can meet somewhere in public. Don't be mad, because wherever we go, somebody may or may not know me. But I just want to see what kind of man you are, what kind of character you got. I want to see, are you a dope? Wait, oh, I gotta say this. Oh, I almost forgot. Was dating a gentleman, and I told him that I don't open doors. He told me, you open doors? I said, I don't open doors. My grandson, my great nephews, or whatever, it's just something that we don't do. So this gentleman came to pick me up. And when I walked outside, I was expecting, he told me, well, my back be bothering me, my feet be bothering me. Okay, my back and feet hurt too. So, I get outside, he didn't open the door on the passenger side and got the door wide open.
And he done went back to the driver's side.
Listen, never got out. Had long arms. Reached over there and threw it open. I'm saying, back in the day, this is what they did to hoes when they was waiting on the hoe to work the parking lot, and they would open the door on the passenger side so she would know that this was her next customer. He swore for peaches that he had never heard this in his life.
I didn't hear that either. You heard that one?
Yeah, until recently he called me and said he had to apologize to me because he was hanging out with somebody and did that, and they said, man, you know, I know that's what you do, because this is what you do when you waiting on the hoe. He said, I never heard that. And you from the hood. Come on, man. You You from the hood? I'm from the hood. You ain't never learned that? Come on, man. Take all your hood credits away from me.
Because so nowadays, these young ladies, they don't require their men to open the door for them.
Oh, they don't have a standard. But you can't have a standard if you ain't been shown a standard.
Yeah.
The best way to learn a social or behavioral skill is by modeling.
And repetition.
We not modeling.
What would we tell the women nowadays, like our younger generations, like people like Denise, what would we tell them who didn't have those role models that was there?
Get with somebody.
Get with somebody. But then at the same time, we can't like really push it on the women because nowadays, I just told one of my people at the office today, she was like, men are not men the way they used to be. And I said, they're not. I said, but we're not the way we used to be neither.
But you have to teach, you have to,
no,
you have
but
to lead by example.
Listen to this though. Because I think it has a lot to do with hormones. I think it has a lot to do with those hormones. Nowadays, I had a grandbaby, 2 grandbabies last year. They both came out with full-fledged titties. Like, you know how we went to the age of little balls and the titties come out? We be like, we about 12 years old. It hurt real bad. Babies are coming out the mother womb with those same titties now.
Yeah.
So, and that's going from what the mother had eaten and gave to her child. So what about the same thing?
That the other day.
Yes.
Women it's not only on the woman and what she consumes and put in her body. It's on the man. If a woman is not, if a woman eats healthy and she takes care of herself or whatever, and she's sleeping with a man and he got toxins and all kind of stuff in his body because his sperm is just as necessary as meeting her and egg to make the baby. If he got liquor and weed and cocaine and all of that stuff in there, that baby gonna have a deficit.
Yes. Yes.
He bringing 50 cents to the table. You bringing half, I'm bringing half. So women, and you wonder why a baby's born with genetic defects and they born with different things.
Autism, back when we were young, was like what?
You was one about 1 million?
Yeah. Now it's 1 in 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I'd like to do the immunizations also though.
Yeah.
I may be wrong.
Well, you know what? I came from the vaccination. I still got, that's how I can tell how old somebody is. When I look at their left arm, and they be talking, they be like, I'm 30 something, and I gradually look at their left arm, I say, you alive from the pits of hell. But it's what the man is bringing. If the man is bringing defective sperm, then it's going to be a problem. A lot of men don't know what side of the street to walk on. So the Bible says, with love and kindness have I drawn thee. So if I see a young lady and I'm able to reach her and have a conversation with her, I'll be like, hey sis. Or if it's a young man, I'll be like, hey bro, you supposed to be on the side of the street, on this side, so you can protect your woman.
Yes.
Oh, I gotta get hit by a car. No, we ain't saying that. We just saying if something, we said if something happened, you're at an advantage. You're at an advantage for a lot of reasons. Most men are right-handed. So if you're on the left side of the street, you're on the wrong side, then that means you gotta come this way. If somebody come up to you and you're on the right side, you could sweep your woman over to the side and avoid a situation. Duly noted. Fellas, you will walk on the outside.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I just kind of learned that from my lover, because my lover was like, he'll actually push me to the side. Like,
Oh, yeah, it's a cat. I'll be like, my man.
Even when he comes sitting at the restaurants, he'll make me sit on the inside and he'll sit on the side and he'll sit on the door.
He's supposed to sit where he can see the door. If you're running over there watching where you can see the door, what you gonna do?
Exactly.
Listen, but you can always tell it's 3 groups of people that never sit with their back to the door: criminals, police officers, and brothers with the Nation of Islam. Now, people say, why you say that? Because they're taught to be observant. And why do you want to sit with your back to the door? No, the man is supposed to sit where he can sit, see. And if he's a protector, you'll know that. If he's a nurturer, you will know that. You'll go out to dinner, you'll find out what kind of personality he got, how he deal with people. If he talk to the server and he real disrespectful and nasty or whatever, I'll be like, dude, listen, you came to a 2.5-star restaurant and you want 6-star service. Okay, that ain't no math. Now you want too much. Or could you grill my onions and grill my bun and then dig a hole out in the middle, put butter in the middle? You do know we had a Coney Island, bro. Do y'all have vegans? No, they just open up a vegan Coney Island. So you gotta be realistic with how he talks to the server, and how he talks to the valet attendant, and how he treats people, and if you're wearing a coat, how he takes your coat off. Does he know to take your coat off? Because I've seen guys take the coat and hand it to the woman, and she be swimming trying to get the coat off. I be like, ain't nobody told the post thing.
Yes,
So
yes.
the men that are listening
Yes.
need to train the men that know. The ones that don't know need to train them, and the women need to know.
But I gotta ask, Dr. Sabrina, I'm gonna ask you this question. Why do you think, then Coco to chime in, why do you think men are so emotional now? Meaning that they react so much off of their emotions, like they can't take rejections no more. Look, now yesterday I had a guy, and I was kind of like startled a little bit. He gave me my business card, and of course it said I'm a sexologist, right? So he offered, he said, can I come see you? And I said, wait, he said, I want to see you personally. I'm like, what you mean? He was like, how much money I got to pay to come see you? I'm like, is you think I'm selling pussy? You know, he was like, yeah. I'm like, no, this is what I do for a career. But to make a long story short, he said, well, call my number right now on your phone. Now I'm walking to my truck, and I'm like, my pistol in my truck. I'm feeling like, okay, this guy gonna grab me at any given moment, because he like real close to me. He don't have no problem telling me he wants sex from me, because he telling me that. So I'm like, this happens a lot. I'm like, I do not want to give him my real number, but so often guys don't like rejection. So, and when you do reject, they try to fight you. Some people have got killed over that kind of stuff. So why do you think it's so hard for men to be able to accept rejection and things of that nature?
They haven't been taught.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this. We teach our women to
Come on.
cover themselves, don't wear stuff so tight, because if you do, then it's going to cause him to act a certain way. We don't teach our men how to restrain.
Absolutely.
So I could be walking down the street butt ass naked. It does not give you a right to touch it, kiss it, lick it, pinch it, whatever, unless I give you permission. But since you see it and you like it, and because they have an outie and we have an innie, they think that as soon as their member becomes at attention, it's your responsibility to do something with it. No, it's on you.
And they're not. It's a sister named Shahrazad Ali, and she's on YouTube, and you can look her up, and she talks about the feminization of the African American man, and what is happening in what is I see it and it's being manifested is men are not being taught coping skills. They're not being taught how to handle rejection, conflict, being told no. Example, last month I think there were 4 separate incidents where women were killed violently, bashed in the head, shot, all of those things because a man, the woman decided she no longer wanted to be in a relationship. It's recently an incident going on right now where a woman was saying, all I want women to do is get out of the relationship, and the mother of the gentleman was saying, all my sons died the same way. And it resonated in my head. If all your sons died at the victim of someone shooting them because they were abusive or aggressive or whatever, then that says something. That speaks volumes to me. But we don't teach our men, if a woman tells you no, it's okay. It's okay. It starts with little young men. It starts with, listen, I have been in the store or Walmart and I see a baby fall out in the middle of the floor, like, get your ass up.
Yes.
And I'll keep walking and they be looking at me like, Mommy, the big lady told me to get up. And I done went on right on by. You don't get your ass off that floor. You just fell out of the floor because you can't get a Spider-Man to get your ass
The
up.
other thing, though, is that, you know, in the book I wrote about raising my son, I talk about whooping him. And that when he got to a certain age, I couldn't whoop him no more.
It didn't work.
But oh my God, there was a Corey. Corey was my first cousin. He is my first cousin, and he is just a big black man. And when Marcel gave me a problem, I would call Corey. He would leave his job. Come to my house.
It's already a problem. He left his job.
Tighten him up and go back to work. And what's interesting, out of everybody in Marcel's life, if Marcel's challenged, if Marcel is upset, if Marcel is having an issue, he calling Corey because he know Corey love him. So it wasn't that he felt like, and he was scared of Corey. he just
He respected him, he
knew
knew him right.
Corey loved him.
Yes.
And so a lot of times we think that corporal punishment or spanking or whatever is, it'll teach violence begets violence. I say I don't agree with that notion. I am a psychologist, and so I understand that stats don't lie, but statisticians do.
Stats don't like what statisticians do. I like that.
So the person that's putting the study together, they
lie. Yes.
So they would say violence begets violence. Well, that did not work in my house because what I did to Marcel, he never felt like he could do to his peers because I wasn't his peer. I'm his mama.
Yes.
Secondly, he never saw me do to my peers what I did to him. So he didn't have an example other than between me and him.
Yes.
And it was unique between the mother
And the son.
and the son
Yes.
that's creating discipline.
Yes.
And because I love him, when I put my hands on him, after I'm done and he cry, I'm going to fix him dinner, he going to bed, we
Yes,
fine.
yes.
But if he gets out of line in the street, they can use violence. So why is it okay for them, but it's not okay for me?
Exactly.
And see, here's that great faded area, because they were just recently talking about getting permission slips signed to reintroduce corporal punishment into the school. I have a problem with that because
I put my hands on my child.
I've seen educators
Who
have the same issues as everybody else. Now, I'm not saying, oh, don't call me, don't text me, don't DM me, don't IG me, don't tweet me. But I've seen educators that have the same issues that everybody else has. So you dealing with addiction, you dealing with this, you dealing with that. Now you come to school, you got an attitude because you ain't got gas money to the end of the week. You just smoked your last one, you bold, your man ain't acting right. Now you think I'm going to let you paddle my child? Absolutely not. Because I don't know what mood you in. I don't know
These
what
are the
time
same
you
people
on.
that Betsy DeVos wants to give guns to?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, she's got federal funding
Yeah.
for teachers to have guns.
Listen, let me tell you something. There's some people on the street, okay, and I ain't finna put all my business out, but it's some people I done seen on the street and at the gun range. I see them walk in the gun range, and I'll be like, I'll go sit in the chair. And the person that I train with will be like, you okay? I'll be like, I'll wait till they finish. And they literally have to walk up and put their hand down and be like, you're not doing that right. So if it's people that's at the place where you learn to shoot a weapon that don't know what they're doing, how in the hell you gonna turn these people loose with a weapon?
In our class.
How they gonna act with their kids? How they gonna act with your kids? How they gonna act with their mate? Because most women, that's why they have separate class for women. Most women will take their purse and they gun and drop it in their purse like it's a tube of lipstick. So now somebody run up on you, gotta be like, wait a minute, sir, hold on, don't wait, don't your purse.
So they got the weapon.
And gone. And then
Yeah, it's really hard. But like I tell people so often, I say, you know, we have boys and men bodies. So often we have boys and men bodies.
and it's not their fault.
And so they have these tantrums. So when we see guys acting off their emotions and can't take rejections and don't want to let the woman leave, I think it has a lot to do with a tantrum.
It is
They
a
can't
tantrum.
have their way. They can't cope with the word no.
They haven't been taught.
They haven't been taught.
They haven't been
They
taught.
haven't
And so
been
that's the other thing that we're doing in schools now with these athletic teams, that everybody is a winner. So everyone gets a trophy.
Everyone is not a winner.
Everybody ain't a winner.
Everyone is not a winner.
Listen,
You're
y'all
not
saw the
winning.
Emmys last night. Y'all saw it.
Yeah, everybody didn't win.
Everybody didn't win. My girl Regina King did win. Well,
Yes, she did.
She did. Okay.
So what do you guys think about now, today's, I don't know, I know Coco probably know, don't know some research. These rappers now have things going on with Drake and this person is beefing with each other. They cut each other out. Nicki Minaj and Cardi B.
They've been beefing.
What do you think that they're trying to, when they beef with each other, you know what I think, Dr. Sabrina? Because I did a strict undersurface research about every
You think
entertainer
it's for
I did.
popularity?
I think it's for popularity, but I think it's to degrade our mind state. For some reason, social media and things like that gravitate to bullshit. So if there's enough bullshit going on, it's a distraction for the person in the background who's running everything. So we so caught up with what K.I. was saying, the damn not on Cardi B hair from Nicki Minaj's entourage, that we're not really looking at the new laws that's put in place. We're not looking at the water crisis in Flint. We're not looking at the fact that
defunded.
Exactly. We're not looking at none of that stuff, but I guarantee you we have all these statistics about everything that's going on with that. Those two things that degrade us more of a person.
Well, this is the thing. It's important for individuals to want the best for themselves. But if you have come from madness and no one is in your ear telling you that you can do better, your belief system is you can't. So you gravitate to the things that make you feel good, that make you laugh, that causes a little drama, all those things. You gravitate to them, and then when it's something serious, you see that as being difficult. So it becomes to the work ethic in the workplace, or making sure you're at work on time, and making sure you're doing, and you're dressing with your pants pulled up on your behind. I want to see your behind. Yes, I really don't.
I'm so tired of seeing these men with these fat ass rumps. Listen, first of all, it's not attractive. First of all, if you a 2X, I don't want to see you in an extra small pair of pants. Because everything is crossed up, it ain't breathing. Then you wonder why you can't have kids when you get ready to have kids, because you done suffocated your kids. They done suffocated. You got a little baby shirt on, looking like you built, you steadily pulling on. You look like Baby Huey, because the shirt sitting up on top of your stomach like this, and it's a hot, deliberate, intentional mess. Men need to dress like men.
How can we as a group of women, like for example, once again, Cardi B and Nicki Minaj. I was just taken back when I seen that. Nicki Minaj says she's 35 years old. Cardi B says she's 25 years old. That's a 10-year difference. Where does it happen that, like with me, you can say, Maya, shut the fuck up. I'll be like, that's fucked up, but I'm gonna shut the fuck up because I respect you because you're my elder. Not only my mentor, but you're my elder. Couple say, shut the fuck up. I like you to say. You said you like pegging motherfucker. Shut the fuck up. I say, okay, I still like pegging, but I won't say shit else. What happens to the respect that we look for at our elders and things of that nature?
Oh my God. It's definitely, the elders don't conduct themselves in a position to be an elder. You got to conduct yourself in a way as an elder. When you conduct yourself that way, people will automatically address you that way. I saw a young man earlier today. I went to a meeting earlier today, and he, Miss Coco, how you doing? I interviewed you when I was in school, and this is what I've done, and blah, 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 blah. And I was so emotional, and I heard him like, I'm so proud of you, proud of everything that you're doing, or whatever. But because of the way I conduct myself, he addressed me as Miss Coco. So it's a level of respect that you have to carry yourself with. And then that ain't no guarantee that people will respect you, but you got to be willing at the drop of a hat to say, "No, wait, hold on, listen, calm this punk ass mess down, calm down,
Yes.
calm down, really." And they be like, "You right." I've had a few instances where I really had to step out of character, but for the most part, I'd be like, "Come on, y'all, we ain't gonna do this, y'all. Don't do this." They be like, "You right, Auntie, you right." I'd be like, "Come on, baby, listen, let this go." And just let it go and whatever. Now I leave shortly thereafter, but the point to the matter is, you have to be able to, and they have to trust what you say. And the aggression meets the aggression.
The other thing is that it goes back to modeling. We have to model how we treat our elders. So when I see a Tiola Hunter can't ask me for nothing that I'm not going to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Barbara Rose Collins, whatever she asks for, I'm doing.
Yes.
I don't care if I'm on TV.
Yes.
I was on TV, got off of air. Tiola Coach, baby, when you come over with your partner, I was thinking to myself, she called and told me that earlier. But she called me and tell me she can tell me 100 times. You can tell me 100 times.
Yes.
I am going to respect her. So I model respect.
And so you get it back. But at the same time, I think it goes a little bit deeper. Because I had a situation maybe about 9 months ago, and somebody asked me to do something. I said, I have to get permission from Dr. Sabrina. And they was like, why do you got to get permission from Dr. Sabrina? I said, because first of all, that's my mentor. Second of all, that's who guides me. You need that guidance. So why would I do a show in the same concept that my mentor does, you know. So I think that it has to do with that respect of that person too, with that guidance. There's no competition when everyone's winning. I think we as women, we get so caught up with people. We get so caught up with jealousy and envy that we can't allow ourselves to be guided. You can, look, you won't be a leader, but you still got to be led.
This is what I tell people, and I say this everywhere I go. The number one reason why people fail at anything that they do is coachability. If you lack the ability to take and implement feedback, how do you get better? How do you get better if can't nobody tell you nothing? So if you can't tell me, I remember the first time I went and spoke at McDonald's Corporation. And it was a very wonderful speech. I had a standing ovation. It was wonderful and great. But then one of the vice presidents pulled me to the side and said, "Sis, I see you're going a long way, but you had a typo in your PowerPoint." So I could see a person with ego going, "I don't care nothing about that. I had a standing ovation. Everybody was like, what?" I remember from that day to this day, I never do a PowerPoint that I don't get somebody to edit. Because I didn't have that one edited. And oftentimes when you are doing your own work, you'll miss your own mistakes. So I know now that I can't catch my mistakes. I need to have somebody do that for me.
Absolutely.
But if I wasn't coachable, if I wouldn't have took that love from someone who wants to see you do better, when I want to see you do better, I'm going to tell you.
And now you see, you got reality shows, but people are not coachable. You got singing shows, people
That's
are not
that
coachable.
chill stuff I'm talking
Yes,
about.
you got dancing shows where people are not coachable. You got all kind. You got cooking shows where people are not coachable. The chef be saying, "Well, I think you used too much so. Well, I so and so and so and so," and the other chef sitting back looking like, "Okay,
They can't work for me."
Yeah, this hook about to get chopped or bombed or whatever they do too.
So I'm saying, like with you guys been in the industry for a long time. Coco, you've been around every celebrity there is out there in the industry. Dr. Sabrina, you've been around everybody. I can't meet nobody who ain't said I need to meet Dr. Sabrina, and that's my mentor. What would you say to young women who's confused, who's trying to get out here, who's an entrepreneur, either they're doing eyelashes, makeup, hair, singing, and the only thing they think is their greatest attribute is their outer physical attraction, where they're not so secure within what's inside. They're not really concerned with their inner love. They're just concerned about the outer. What would you tell them about self-love?
You limit yourself. When you don't have the confidence to walk into a room and your love and your energy, when you vibrate on a whole nother level and you have self-love and you have God and you have a spirituality and you have a peace, you're able to walk into the room and people may not exactly know what it is, but it's something about you, they like this. And they'll follow you all around the room the whole day. You have to be able to take constructive criticism. You have to be constantly taught. You have to pay attention to those that come before you. You have to pay attention to those that are doing what you are doing. Recently, young man, his name is Keista King. Keista King is cold with his hair. He do the weaves, the wigs, the unit, or whatever. He had a birthday party, and he did an interview for his birthday party, and we was going back and forth on the email, and when he finally got there to the interview, he said, "I remember when I arched your eyebrows." I said, "How old were you, baby?" Because he was just turning, I think, 30. He said he had been working in the hair business for so long. He said, "I was at the shop and I needed my eyebrows arched." He said, "I arch them." And I remember he had his hair braided to the back, and I looked, and I said, "You are arching?" He said, "Yeah." But the way this young man, let me tell you what made me say yeah instead of going somewhere else. When he picked the straight braids up and the way he flicked it back, I said, "Okay, you can arch my eyebrows."
What are you doing?
Let somebody throw arch some eyelashes. Arch my eyebrows. Yeah, but when he picked the straight braids up, he picked it up and flicked it back. I said, "Okay," I went and sat down. He arched my eyebrows, and from that point to this one, I have so much respect. Keith the King. Same with a gentleman named Tyrone. It's just been people that you watch and you learn and you love and you admire, and they excel with their clientele. If your clientele is not growing, if what you're doing is not generating the revenue for you and people are not being drawn to you, you need to go to somebody and figure out what do you need to do to get the people that you need. Surround yourself with people that are like-minded, but also surround yourself with people that challenge you to go to another level.
I would say the first thing is to make sure you have a mentor.
Yes.
Have somebody that you trust,
Absolutely.
that's going to tell you when you're awesome and going to tell you when you need improvement. Because all of us, I don't care who we are, I don't care what we do, we can do it better. Because good is the enemy of great. If you're seeking to just be good enough, you'll never be great. So seek to be great. Another thing that you must do is you must open yourself up to learning. Be a lifetime learner. Don't get to the point that you think you're at the top of your game, that you're not going to research, you're not going to read, I am a ferocious researcher. I am going to read to the nth degree. This one right here posted a question, and I thought I had answered the question, and she says, well, no, I think you should go a little deeper. And then when she told me to go a little deeper, I did go a little deeper. I said, oh, well,
But you gotta be careful, because when you say that to your mentor, you gotta have your shit together. I was scared typing it the whole time I'm texting. I'm like, see, should I say this to my mentor? Damn. So I had to do it the right way.
it was good. It was good.
But it challenges you.
Absolutely.
That you knew it, and it challenges her to go deeper. And now when it comes back up, you got your information, she got her information, and it could be presented to people like you know it. Because people know when you don't know what you're talking about.
But I gotta say two things. One thing that both of them didn't say that I want y'all to know, because I see this happen so often. My mentor helped me with this so much. I call her and I cry to her sometimes. If you don't fit in, you was not meant to fit in. You see how these beautiful ladies look? Look at me, I got suspenders on the pink. You know, people who know me know how I get down. I don't dress like nobody else. I don't fit in with nobody else. But my mentor said, she said this to me. She said, Katrina, you was not meant to fit in. You can't fit in with people. Your capacity is not for them. How did you say that to the
An animal the size of a rabbit a mile away. A pigeon can't. So what a pigeon gonna tell me about my vision when they can't even see what I'm looking
You
at?
said a pigeon cake.
So if you don't fit in, you was not meant to fit in, because everybody is not meant to fit in. Some people are meant to stand out. I'm one of those people that's meant to stand out. I can't fit in with other people. If you have these special gifts, don't be ashamed to show them. For a while, I'm battling right now. I tell y'all, my name is Love My Yacht. A lot of people say, go by the name Dr. Katrina Biz. I said no, because my title don't define me. I define my title. So my mentor to this day, she be like, do what you comfortable with.
Absolutely.
And I just said, Dr. Sabrina, do you think she be like, what the hell you keep saying, do I think? What the hell do you think? Do what you think is right. If you feel like it's right, that's what the hell you're supposed to be doing. So I would have to say, guys, because I know my women gotta do what they gotta do, they got shit to do tomorrow. I
got stuff to do tonight.
Oh, you should have chill tonight. Yeah. But before y'all leave, I gotta ask y'all. Why are y'all talking about monogamous versus polyamory? Because we ain't talking about sex enough, so you gotta ask that part.
I totally agree in monogamy. I am a staunch advocate of monogamy. It's me and you. When you add other people to the equation, you add other energies, other situations, and other circumstances to the equation. It's just like when I perform. I'm on stage by myself because I'm a stand-up comedian. When I do motivational speaking, I'm by myself. When I'm on stage, I'm by myself. If I'm in your life and I'm number one, I'm by my damn self. If you gotta add other people to the team, pick another player.
Okay, I'm just gonna go to some facts. We are, as people, we seek monogamy, but we're horrible at it. We're horrible at it. And so there have been people in the Bible, there have been dynasties, there have been people, and there are people around the world who their whole culture is not fixated on monogamy, and it works for them.
Yes.
So my question is, what works for you? And if it works for you, make it work for you. I had a client who was in a polyamorous situation. She says, and out of all the relationships she's ever been in, it was the most beautiful. And I had never heard the term beautiful attached to that. But whatever you do is based on what you think about it, not what other people think about it. So do you.
With that said, guys, like always, I teach you, you teach me. Together we explore and discover the mysteries of sex. Peace.